5 signs of a stupid person. Number 1. Lack of curiosity, showing little interest in learning new things. Number 2. Blaming others, frequently blaming others for personal failures or mistakes. Number 3. Poor communication skills, struggling to convey thoughts clearly or understand others. Number 4. Neglecting responsibilities, ignoring or failing to fulfill obligations and duties. Number 5. Poor decision-making, making consistently poor choices without learning from past mistakes.
To about 75 feet from the door, and these guys were trying to breach it. We believe Antifa was wearing some Trump gear up there because they were breaking the windows, and that we knew they were Antifa. So some patriots grabbed them, stopped them from breaking the windows. And, it was just they were throwing sticks at the police. They were trying to breach the door in the center up there. This is not what we're about. We're patriots. We have a problem with the people that serve in that building, not the building itself. But we have a problem with the corruption and the evil and the wickedness of our politicians, and it's got to stop. And all these people are just frustrated because of this. And it stops today. It has to stop. If it doesn't stop today, who knows where our country is going to be. If Biden gets in, our country's going to become socialist, and we do not want that. So that's the story up there.
This part of the scene on the streets of Tehran, Iranian protesters burning American flags and chanting "Death to America" in response to
Biggest Lies Biden Told This Week by Alfredo Ortiz, opinion contributor. President Biden's State of the Union address was full of lies and mistruths. They betray the desperation of a president with 38% job approval on the economy, 16% of the population better off than before he took office, and most of his own party wanting a different White House nominee in 2024. Here are his 7 biggest lies. 1. Take-home pay has gone up. I predicted last week that Biden would utter this lie. Real wages have fallen every month for nearly 2 straight years under his administration, as historic inflation swamps nominal wages and destroys living standards. According to the most recent data, annual inflation is rising 50% faster than average wages. The truth is that Americans are getting poorer, something we are reminded of every time we visit the grocery store, where prices have increased by 20% since Biden took office. 2. We have created a record 12 million new jobs. Biden tries to count the jobs backfilled post-pandemic as new jobs, but these positions were already created and merely temporarily abandoned due to COVID-19. In reality, Biden has created 2.7 million net new jobs above what Donald Trump created. This job creation is only 60% of the 4.5 million net new jobs that Trump created in his first 2 years in office. 3. I have presided over the largest deficit reduction in American history. Again, Biden is trying to take advantage of the moderation from the unique pandemic baseline. In reality, Biden has presided over the largest 2-year deficit, $4.2 trillion, in American history. While it's true the annual deficit is lower than during the once-in-a-century pandemic in 2020, due to the expiration of pandemic-era spending, that's hardly something to cheer. In fact, Biden's reckless spending has prevented the deficit from falling below the outrageous $1 trillion mark in 2022. 4. 2 years ago, our economy was reeling. President Trump presided over the fastest economic recovery in American history, with the economy expanding by 11% in his last 6 months in office. Unfortunately, instead of simply continuing Trump's policies and riding his coattails to a rapid resurgence, Biden seized the opportunity to pass several $1 trillion worth of unnecessary spending that fueled historic inflation, putting a tremendous burden on small business owners and ordinary Americans. 5. Oil companies have invested too little of their profit to increase domestic production and keep gas prices down. Oil companies would like to expand production to take advantage of high oil prices, but the Biden administration's green energy policies make this very difficult. According to Heritage Foundation energy analyst Katie Tubb, the administration has proposed or finalized regulations that restrict nearly every aspect of the oil industry: financing and private sector investment, exploration and production, pipeline construction and operation, and consumer use. Biden has issued the fewest drilling permits since the end of World War II. As a result, oil production is still lower than before the pandemic, and gas prices are far higher. 6. Now, thanks to all we've done, we're exporting American products. The same day as the State of the Union address, the government released 2022 trade figures showing the country hit a record trade deficit of almost $1 trillion last year. That's up 12.2% compared to 2021, precisely the opposite direction of Biden's claim. This unprecedented trade deficit is a direct consequence of Biden's bad policies, including climate and labor overregulation, that make it expensive to manufacture goods in America. 7. The wealthy don't pay their fair share. This stale Democrat talking point seems to make it into every stump speech, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The top 1% of highest-earning Americans pay nearly 50% of the nation's income taxes, about twice their share of national income. According to a WalletHub analysis, the top 100 American corporations pay an effective tax rate of nearly 20%. Smaller businesses pay even more. These liabilities don't include the high tax bills paid by companies' shareholders and executives. The American tax system is one of the most progressive in the developed world, with job creators paying far more than their fair share, despite Democrats' nonstop claims to the contrary. Don't expect the mainstream media fact-checkers to call Biden out on these lies. These are left-wing opinion journalists masquerading as independent truth arbiters to help advance the Democrats' agenda. For example, the Democratic Party broadsheet known as the New York Times claimed Mr. Biden's speech contained no outright falsehoods. Yet, judging by Biden's low approval numbers, the public can see through his lies just fine. His State of the Union address is no exception. Alfredo Ortiz is president and CEO of Job Creators Network and author of The Real Race Revolutionaries: How Minority Entrepreneurship Can Overcome America's Racial and Economic